Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video to document some flashbacks that I've been having over the last, I would say 9 or 10 minutes. I was listening to the song Bunny Hop through my headphones because I just got off a conference call, directed energy shielding conference call that was very informative about nanoparticles and the aspects of our food and our air that's intentionally being harmed to create a toxic environment inside of our bodies that carries the energy and does the highest level of harm when you're hit with these directed energy weapons. But anyway, so that call and learning about shielding, and I've learned some amazing things about shielding that I will implement. I'm trying to figure out financially how I'm going to be able to do it because it actually is an emergency, being that I've had some very aggressive attacks within the last 24 hours by one of my most violent terrorists. But anyway, so it made me think of a couple of things. First of all, the song I was just listening to, I'll start with that. The song was Bunny Hop. And so I'm listening to it in my headphones because actually, mysteriously, my car stereo no longer works and my check engine light is on. The check engine light, that could be legitimate. The car stereo going out in terms of my navigation and everything is no longer working. That was shortly after the police responded to a call supposedly by SWEPCO for them to, how are you doing? For them to for them to come out and do a EMF analysis. So instead the police came and SWEPCO never came. And anyway, and then suddenly my car system stopped working. Okay, so that explains why I'm listening to the song through my headphones. I just wanted to give you an explanation on that. Okay, so I'm listening to the song, and it has some pretty graphic lyrics, but it made me have a flashback. And guys, I know this is personal, but it made me have the flashback of Tyler being in my bed and how he touched me, and specifically him inserting his fingers in me. And of course, we know what that means, when you insert your fingers in someone, what you're, doing. So I don't know, it just made me think of that, and it was very vivid. It was almost if I was there and watching it happen. So I felt like I wanted to share it because I was actually reliving and watching him do this to me. That's the first thing I wanted to share. The second thing that I wanted to share came up on a call about shielding that I had earlier this week. And they were telling you quick emergency things that you can gather in your home to protect yourself from these attacks. So we were specifically talking about when our heart is being attacked, our heart grid, that you can get a stainless steel bowl and actually place it over your heart area, and it will attenuate some of the directed energy. Okay, so that was very useful. He actually said that he had heard pinging off of this bowl when he used this method of shielding. And I said, oh my goodness, I have heard pinging as well. I have literally heard the firing of this energy. And I know that seems like that is hard to believe, but when you're in a closed-in room and this amount of energy is being directed at your physical body, your senses do heighten, and it is literally a war zone. And I just want to emphasize that we are Americans that are undergoing warfare against our lives. And then the third thing that I wanted to mention, and I think I only shared this with Tyler, and I know that sounds, strange as well, considering he is the primary terrorist. He is the creator and owner of this attack on me. Yet, however, there are certain things that I have to it's maybe it's Stockholm's. I mean, I don't know. You can call it whatever you'd like. But I did share with him, because I do share I share information, intelligence with him when it's extremely pertinent or the attacks are extremely violent. And I do that because I do that for several reasons. But the primary reason is to have a communication trail for law enforcement and the courts to go back and analyze, and so that the highest information regarding the specifics of the most violent aspects of my attack are documented. So that is the other reason. So I shared this with him and not anyone else. I have actually seen the lasers coming through my window. I have seen the colors of the lasers coming in through my window. It sounds like, supernatural, superhero, type of vision. But again, that is what they're doing, is they're taking the highest, most advanced forms of weaponry, billion-dollar weaponry, and aiming it at our physical bodies. Oh, I actually want food. Okay. I think I'm going to go to this food truck, and he's just opening and closing the window. So I think he's summoning me, not in an unhealthy way. Just like, are you coming? You see us. It's a taco truck. I'll actually get a shot of it, but I want it to be stable, like the camera. So, I guess there was a commercial for the food truck, not intentionally, but that's the way it works in my life. Tyler's listening to me actually right now. He's assaulting me. I'm sitting in front of Walmart. I have to go in here and get some things too. Also detoxing. And I do a lot of fasting and detoxing. So I'm doing a lot of things right. But that is something, if you are a targeted individual, via these weapon systems that they're using, then detoxing is very important. Just using things like garlic and onion and vinegar and charcoal and other things, but I'll share maybe some of that later. But anyway, those are the important things that I wanted to share. That number one, I was having a really strong outer body flashback, seeing Tyler in bed with me and what he specifically was doing. And then also I wanted to share that I've heard the pinging, the weapons that have been aimed at me in my private domain in my bedroom as I slept. I have heard the firing, and then also seeing the laser come through my window. And this is the interesting part. Well, I'm not going to go into all that, because actually only people who have experienced this truly know the degree of violation that it is and how it activates our highest senses. And again, I was already a person with heightened senses and spiritual abilities that are just my natural, who I am naturally. It's not anything that, I did to make happen. It was what I was born with. I was a special child as well. A child with clairvoyant gifts, and I could just, it's hard to explain without, dumbing it down or it sounding advanced, but it is advanced, and we're all actually advanced if we told the truth. See, that's the first thing you have to do with your intuition, is just tell the truth, meet the truth, ask for confirmation with, God, like, am I actually seeing this? And then just start documenting and telling the truth, and it really advances the natural innate abilities that we're already born with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thank you so much for listening, and I know that was a very strong share, but it was necessary, and this is part of the journey, my freedom journey, and my journey to freedom from this human trafficking civil war that has been waged against my life, because I am a Christian, a true Christian, and because of my spiritual gifts. No one should be vulnerable to being attacked by any type of secret organization that seizes their human rights to assault their life, to try to destroy their life, to torture them, to abuse them, to experiment on them. We all know that that's illegal, and those that are victims of this type of crime, we need a society to pay attention. And we, just as, see guys, don't forget, and this is to all my fellow African Americans, do not forget that it took good people in order for you to even vote. Do not take for granted our past, because slavery in all of its forms and its various forms can come back on you. And actually, if you'd like to be honest, I can tell you how it's already happening. So first of all, it's having a slave population, but I'm going to go ahead and stop it there because I do need to gather these things, get these things from Walmart, and then figure out my financial situation. So if you'd like to send me a Cash App, I would really appreciate that. I am being trafficked by Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and many others that are participating in on this attack on me. I do undergo violent attacks on my body and on my organs, and it is difficult. It is a difficult life. Sleep deprivation, torture, just a full infringement on my physical body and my environmental space. It can be likened to an electromagnetic concentration camp, and I use that term because my home is so amplified, and it's unnaturally, I mean, it's tampered with, but it's real time. It's not sensory deprivation, it's sensory aggravation. It's sensory aggravation. So imagine an autistic person, you feeding them stimuli that aggravates their physical body, causing them to have physical symptoms that they're not able to control. That is one way to look at this. And I am special, and I do not deny that. And that is one of the reasons why they've targeted me. And I laugh in the sense that, you know, I guess people would not automatically think I'm special. If you knew me, you kind of know that I'm, you know, special, and that's okay. We're all special. But I mean, again, a special individual or a person who has special needs being attacked in this capacity, that's extremely offensive. And I met another woman on the targeted individuals attacks who has a severe special needs. She's blind, a disability, and I have a disability as well. And she's targeted, you know, violently. So this is all very disgusting and gross and offensive. So I want you never to tap out of the truth being uncomfortable. Do not block it for that reason, because we are living in the end times, and we have to accelerate God's kingdom by being honest about what's happening and asking for the highest intervention. And if America is going to sell their soul to the nation and try to not sell their soul to the nation, sell their soul to Satan, so that they do not have to, so that they can bow down to this higher power that has infringed upon a certain segment and population of people's lives, these special interest groups that are experimenting and doing harm on one of us, they're doing harm on all of us. And this is very, it is very critical that we come to terms and become transparent about what is happening for protections for not only us, but for you as well, so that you are not, if you are targeted, it does not take you years to understand what is happening to you, that you can start documenting and getting help immediately. And yeah, so that's just what I wanted to say. Okay, I love everybody again, and thank you so much for listening.